Leon, guys, there was so much on the line in this fight. This is very potentially Colby's last fight. All right? I think Colby's going to go out there and win, but he either is going to win or he is not going to win. There's not like a third option. There's not like 5 things we have to look at. He's either going to win or he's not going to win. You ever meet guys like this that are some kind of an expert in the stock market? Like they went to college and they got the nice suit and they want you to come, they want to sit you down and take you to lunch and explain 401ks one day. They want to do what a Roth IRA is and what a contribution is. You ever meet these guys? At some point, just stop one of those pricks and tell them the stock price can either go up or it can go down. Okay? There's not a third option. And you didn't need all of this schooling and this fancy suit and this meeting with me. You didn't need any of those things. You have a price. It either goes up or it does not go up. But it's a very relevant situation because when I talk about Colby, I don't like to talk about it in the vein that he could lose. I do not think that he will. But I will tell you, if he doesn't win, or he does win, those are the only 2 ways to look at it. So, one thing about Covington is he wants to be champion, and he does not want anything else. If you were to go back to his college days, he wanted to be the NCAA champion. He did not want to be an All-American. He was an All-American. That's something very wonderful. But he was one of the few All-Americans that did not celebrate being an All-American. And it's not what he wanted. So when he comes over to MMA, he's got one pursuit. And my large point of telling you that is there's not a situation where he returns to a title fight unless he's the one bringing the title. So if that was the spot, and if title matches was no longer a potential, would he continue on? Would he continue on fighting in the journey and grinding these matches out? I don't know that that's something he's interested in. I mean, I'll just share that with you. So when you talk about this could be Colby's last fight, that's real. That's a real stake that is potentially here. Now, when you go look at Leon, there is not a scenario where anyone is going to try to get Leon back into a main event. Like here, let's just use the Colby fight, for example. If Colby beats Leon, there is no chance that they rematch Colby and Leon. When Leon got rematched with Kamaru Usman, it wasn't to shine up Leon and make him look really good. It was to get the belt back to Kamaru Usman. Just by example, like the rematch is not going to happen. And Leon does not have the skills that are required in a post-fight interview to get a rematch. So now he goes back in a very long list in a pecking order. I mean, if he is to follow the trajectory that he set for himself, which was 8 fights in a row without a loss. I mean, if he is just to follow the own path that he laid out once before, that'll eat up the lifetime of a career, and he's just not going to return to the spot. So I'm just speaking to the idea that, I mean, this in many ways could be a retirement match. In many ways. Neither guy is speaking like that, but there does appear to be a lot on the line here. And, you know, so many times you stare at a mountain, right? You got to climb this thing. You stare at the mountain from the bottom and you go, yeah, let's get started. This is what I've dreamed of. And so many times you look, oh man, that mountain's just too big. It's just too big for the time that I have, or for the energy that I have, or for the motivation or the moral, or however many bullets I got left in the chamber. And it's one of these situations where if Leon had to look at that deck and realize, I've already done this once, but it took me 8 tries. All that had to go perfectly. It is a situation where he might think twice. He hasn't been Mr. Active and busy and begging to get in there. He sure is good at his skills. But there was always some kind of a fancy and beautiful prize. Even if it was Blal, that was a main event on ESPN. Even if it was against Chimaev, the fight that didn't happen but he signed for it, was told it would be a #1 contenders match. Even if it was against Diaz, that was the people's main event of a live pay-per-view. I mean, there was a lot on his fights. They're very big deals. Head kick, turn around the world, took him to his hometown, let him do that in front of his friends. Now you bring him to the fight capital of the world, you put him in there with the evil villain Covington. I mean, there's just a lot on it that the next ones wouldn't have. Does he want to dig that deep? I can't tell you that he doesn't. I will just tell you that it's going to be a question. It's the same with Colby. I'm not telling you if Colby loses, he's never going to fight again, he's going to retire. But I'm telling you, he will consider it. It will be looked at. And while I don't surmise for you guys or attempt to feed you the idea that this is the most sought after welterweight fight of all time, it's not. It's not the one you guys have been clamoring and dying and wanting to see. It's not those things. But as far as the stakes in terms of the fall and the repercussions of the fall of the loser, I can't really think of a fight that's got bigger stakes. I can't think of a fight that's got a more important need for positive outcome than Leon versus Colby.